The moon hangs in the sky overhead. Senpai didn't say so much as a word the whole time we were on our way back to the sewers. As I stare at her back, I think about the inevitability that's now staring me straight in the face. Roa's gone. My partnership with Arcueid has come to an end. If Ciel Senpai's objective was to eliminate Roa, then there's no longer a reason for her to stay here. I grit my teeth to prevent my frustration from boiling over. I always knew that this was inevitable, but never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that it would be so soon. I want Senpai to stay. I want her to stay, but there isn't even a single thing I can do to make that a reality. I steal a glance at Senpai's face. I wonder what she's planning to do from now on. Senpai suddenly stops and addresses me.
何ですか、先輩。
I tense my stomach as I respond, as if bracing myself to withstand the words that I'm likely to hear. Even while preparing for the worst, I try to keep my voice as lighthearted and natural as possible.
いえ、ただの私情なのですが、昼間の話の続きをしていいですか？
Continue our discussion. The one about Senpai's body?
全然いいですけど、先輩の体がアルクエイドみたいってことですか？
Senpai nods, still facing away from me. A moment passes in silence. She takes a deep breath, then begins to speak.
もしもの話ですよ。遠野くんは違うと言いましたけど、私が本当に吸血鬼だったらどうしますか？
My mind instantly goes blank. I can't even begin to think what Senpai is getting at here.
私は彼女と同じなんです。彼女が経験のない吸血鬼であるように、私は自覚のない吸血鬼なのかもしれない。
Senpai almost seems as if she's talking to herself. I'm speechless. Inexperienced as I am, I can't offer any words to comfort her, nor any rebuttal to what I'm being told. Even so, I can understand that Senpai is laying her heart bare to me right now. I can't respond to something like that with a lie. Right now, all I can do is tell her my true and honest feelings.
いいです、そんなの。だから、いいって言ったんです。たとえ吸血鬼でも、俺は先輩が好きだよ。
Senpai spins around to face me. Her reaction was sudden, like a child startled by a splash of cold water that had landed on their back.
そうですか？吸血鬼に例えたのは別の意図だったのですが、私を信じられるかどうかといった。事件も解決しましたし、遠野くんの記憶を消すかどうか決めなくてはいけないので。
あ、そうですよね。そういう話ですよね。もちろん信じます。っていうか、先輩の秘密はちゃんと守ります。
Senpai blushes, but there's no doubt that my face is even more red than hers. Ah, crap. I really need to read the mood before I open my mouth.
とにかく、俺にとってシエル先輩は何があってもシエル先輩ってことです。それより、早く帰りましょう。ここ寒いですから。
Yeah? I nervously start talking to hide my embarrassment, but something I say snaps me right back down to earth. Go back. Where would Senpai go back to? My feelings run cold. I hang my head, too scared to look Senpai in the face.
遠野くん。
I hear Senpai's voice. When I hear her calm and emotionless voice, I accept the fact that I can't run away anymore.
何？
I respond without looking up.
私が何のためにこの町に来たか知っていますよ
Here we
ね。
go.
もちろん。ロアを退治するためです。
ええ。けど、その理由までは話していませんでした。本当は今夜、二人で街に出た時にお話ししようと思ってたんですけど、なんか、あっけなく終わっちゃいましたね。
そうですね。拍子抜けするぐらい、あっけなく終わりました。
Still, it was only a matter of time. The fact that it happened so soon was just thanks to a string of unexpected coincidences.
けど、先輩がロアを追っていたのは、教会の仕事だったからでしょう。理由なんて、他にあるんですか？
ええ。私の所属しているチームは、なんていうか、あんまり仕事がないんです。あっても年に数回、ちょっと呼び出される程度で。ですから今回の件は、私の独断なんです。私は教会の指示ではなく、自分の意志でこの町にやってきました。
先輩の意志？
はい。私は自分の事情だけで行動していました。私は人間として死にたいからずっとロアを追っていたんです。私の体がこんなになってしまったのは彼に原因がありましたから。
So she's on her Andy shit from Undead Unlock, huh? She wants to die. She wants to die? That's...
それだけのために私はこうして生きながらえてきました。代行者になってから6年間、長かったのか短かったのかよくはわかりませんけど。
Her motionless voice trails off. As I stare at the floor, I see Senpai's hand poke into my field of view.
顔を上げてください。最後は笑顔で。と言ったのは遠野くんの方ですよ。
Senpai's hand grasps mine. Her smile is the same one I've seen time and time again, an unsurpassed smile that warms my melancholy heart.
遠野くんには感謝しています。私の仕事はこれでおしまいです。あとは残った自分の責任を果たさなくちゃいけません。
先輩、やっぱり。
Going to leave now?
記憶を消そうと思ったけど、やめます。遠野くんには嫌われたくありませんから。今までありがとうございました。私、こんなに嬉しかったの久しぶりです。ですから、最後に握手しましょう。
Ah, so that's why she held out her hand to me. I reciprocate her grasp, closing my fingers around the hand that had enveloped mine. My chest feels like it's about to burst, but what else can I do? There's nothing that I can do to repay her other than firmly return her handshake.
それではお別れです。ですね。私がいなくなっても、乾くんと仲良くしてくださいね。私、遠野くんと乾くんみたいな学生になりたかった。あとですね。あんまりメガネを外しちゃダメですよ。得意なものは得意なものを引き寄せるんです。今回は解決しましたけど、次はどうなるかわからないんですから。
はい。それは知ってます。昔、厳しく教えてくれた人がいましたから。そもそもですね、俺がメガネを外したのはここ最近の話ですよ。
そうですか。それを聞いて安心しました。
I can no longer feel Senpai's fingers. Our handshake over, we each take a few steps backward. We're far enough apart that even if I reached out my arm, I wouldn't be able to touch her.
先輩、また会えますか？俺と。
I know it won't change anything, but I can't help asking.
もちろん、縁があればきっと。 だって私も遠野くんもまだ生きているんですから。
I see. She's right, of course. So as long as we're alive, there's always a chance we'll be lucky enough to meet again someday. Even if our relationship was based on a chance encounter that wasn't destined to happen at all.
もうちょっとだけお話がしたかったけど、キリがないからここまでにします。遠野くんにはこんなのばっかりですね。
Senpai gives me a bashful smile and turns around.
それじゃあさようなら。帰り道迷わないように気をつけて。
I couldn't say anything in response. I couldn't do anything to stop her either. The girl I've been constantly chasing after these past few days fades away like a dream. She leaves behind nothing but a feeling of emptiness in my chest.
そっか。今になってようやくわかった。
And yet, my heart feels at ease. I don't feel depressed like I did yesterday, nor am I wallowing in self-hatred. From the very beginning, I'd understood on some level that we could never be together. We don't live in the same world, or even the same era. Everyone, no matter who they are, has to say goodbye at some point. The reason that it felt so painful before is because we hadn't properly said our farewells. But this time is different. I was able to say goodbye to Senpai with a smile on my face. It's thanks to that I can be so calm. I feel like I needed to be able to have that peace of mind.
戻ろう。いつまでもここにはいられない。
After telling myself that, I forced my legs to start walking. This long night has come to an end. All that remains is for me to let everything fade away and return to the ordinary life I'd led up to this point. Really now. My trip back to the mansion is uneventful. It's past 9 o'clock. I've missed curfew by over an hour.
お帰りなさいませ、四季さん。お疲れでなければ何よりです。今日は幾分遅いお帰りになりましたが、お体の具合はいかがですか？
Kawaku-san is waiting for me in the lobby. She must have noticed me buzz in through the main gate and come out to greet me.
ただいま琥珀さん。それとごめん。ちょっと使用で遅くなっただけで具合を悪くしたとかじゃないんです。
いえ、無事に帰ってきていただけたのならいいんです。ご夕飯でしたらすぐにご用意いたしますので、今の方でお待ちいただければ。
あ、今には秋葉はいる。
I'm not worried about the fact that I broke curfew. It's more that I can't get what Noelle Sensei told me out of my head. And I'm not sure if I could face Akiha right now.
いえいえ、秋葉様でしたらお部屋の方に戻られていますので、どうかご安心くださいな。お小言は明日の朝にまで持ち越しということで。
いや、そういうわけじゃないんだけど。あのさ、琥珀さん。この家に俺と秋葉以外の兄弟がいたって話聞いたことがある。
四季さんと秋葉様以外のご子息様ですか？そういった話はないと思いますよ。どうしたんですか、四季さん。何かあったんですか？
いや、ただ俺に兄貴がいたかもしれないってそんな話を聞いてさ、ちょっと記憶に自信がなくて。
四季さんと秋葉様は二人きりの兄弟ですよ。幼い頃からお屋敷で働いている私が言うんですから、間違いはありません。
Kawaku-san gives me a triumphant smile. I see, so Kawaku-san has been here ever since we were children. Wait, what?
琥珀さん、昔からここで働いてたんですか？
はい、見習いとしてですが、翡翠ちゃんと一緒に簡単なお手伝いをさせていただいておりました。何分昔のお話ですから、四季さんが覚えていらっしゃらないのは当然だと思います。
いや、でも合っているなら少しは覚えているべきですけど。
I'm ashamed of how forgetful I am.
それは仕方のないことです。昔の遠野邸はご来賓の方も多かったですし、何より子供の頃の話ですから。
So are they around the same age, or... I don't know.
今ですらこんな大きなお屋敷なんですよ。子供の視点では果てのない迷路のように思えたものです。この本館だけでも覚えきれなかったのに、今はもう取り壊されたテニスコート横の迎賓館や植物園、離れのお屋敷もありました。ご親戚の方々も滞在していましたし、あの頃誰がどこにいたのかを把握していたのは、それこそご当主であらせられた牧久様だけかと存じます。
そうですね。言われてみれば確かに。
I remember being warned never to go to the second floor alone as a child because it was dangerous, and getting scolded for getting too close to the guest house. In a mansion this large, it's pretty plausible that there were people I never ran into this whole time I was living here.
そうですとも。明葉様がお忙しいので今はお暇を出されていますが、乗馬用の馬屋もあったんですから。あの頃のお庭は毎日がお祭りのようで大変楽しゅうございました。
Kaku-san leaves for the kitchen, a nostalgic smile playing across her face.
俺より年上で何年も前に死んだ養子か。
No, Kawaku-san is right. There's no point in thinking any more about it. They were chosen as Rose Vessel, transformed into a vampire, left the mansion, and kept on living beneath the city. No matter how much I rack my brain, it won't help me remember anything about who they could have been.
明葉が知らないなら無理に伝える必要はないよな。もう終わったことなんだから。
Muttering to myself, I head to the living room. I'm not hungry, but I should still make sure I eat to try and at least take the edge off my exhaustion. After finishing dinner and taking a bath, I get into bed. I cover myself with the blankets, then stare vacantly up at the ceiling. Falling asleep always used to make me feel a little uneasy, but today it feels like being embraced by a sense of pure liberation. It's liberation born from a sense of loss, but a release all the same. It's over. Scars and memories will remain, but with this, it's all over. From tomorrow on, I'll be back to living life as an ordinary student, just as I did before. I've had enough of all this killing. It's time to forget. Forget about everyone, and starting tomorrow... I shake my head to clear away the vision that flashed before my eyes. She's already gone. It's not like I could have kept her here with nothing but the power of my own selfish thoughts.
くそ。そんなわけなかったんだ。
Senpai and I have always belonged to two different worlds. That's why I'd convinced myself that it was for the best if we parted ways. I didn't want her to hate me, so I tried to show her that I understood this had to be the end. But just look at me now. Farewells don't hurt if you say them with a smile. What a crock of shit. How could I ever forget the time I spent with her? If I'd known it was going to hurt this much, I'd have just had her erase my memory.
バカか。俺は。
I banished that sulking thought from my mind. Enough. I just need to sleep. I'm sure that by tomorrow, I'll have resigned myself to the way things are. I'll submit myself to sleep once again, knowing as always there's no guarantee I'll ever awake, so that all these feelings can be scrapped away, and I can greet the morning with open arms. Holding tight to this belief, I entrust my body and mind to oblivion. And let me guess, tomorrow something crazy is gonna happen that's completely going to, reject this line of thinking. Hello, Noel. Following a gas explosion of unknown cause, this crater is all that's left of the park. The police have cordoned it off, but their investigation has been on hold ever since, leaving this mountain of rubble a blind spot nestled within the city. Noelle flees across the barren land, her breath coming in short, painful bursts. With one of her legs paralyzed from the electric shock and unable to move properly, she crawls her way down the sloping rubble. Her cheeks are smeared with mud, her habit is in tatters, and the gaping wound in her right shoulder has turned gangrenous. It would be difficult to picture a more unseemly sight. Anyone in the know would surely think she was a low-ranking dead apostle if they saw her, possibly even one of the dead, the lowest rank of all. She looks so downtrodden that if you told someone that mere hours earlier she'd been an executor, they wouldn't be able to believe it. She steps on an unfortunately placed piece of debris, causing its fragile balance to collapse and sending her tumbling down the bottom like a garbage bag that's been tossed to the curb. Bite her. There's something about that spider that I just can't shake off. Also, Noelle can't catch a break, can she? Like, damn. Quite the unfortunate woman, huh? She stifles the scream, threatening to spill from her mouth. Even though she knows there's nobody coming after her, she won't let herself cry out. Because she's run away from all sorts of things. From her executor partner, from the order to disappear in front of the insolent acting privester, and now from the voracious thirst for blood that burns in her throat.
治療なんて受けられるわけないじゃない。
She can't help but weep, unable to bear the pain in her shoulder. If she went to the church's local branch, she could receive treatment for her wounds, but that's one thing she could never do. Having her body examined in its current state would be a tantamount to suicide for her. The pain in her shoulder is excruciating, like it could rot and fall off at any moment. It, together with her burning thirst, wreaks havoc with her mind. A normal human would find themselves hard-pressed to do anything more than simply endure the pain she's in. However, despite her dire situation, the only thing that fills Noelle's thoughts is hatred for her. Ciel, I guess?
何あれ何よあれ何なのよ
She strikes the ground with the one hand she's still able to move. As she steeps in anguished frustration, she thinks back on the battle that just took place. The fight was over in an instant. She knew she never stood a chance in a head-to-head battle against her. That's why she was going to fight. She had to settle it with the opening strike. She decided that she'd pretend to aim for Ciel while instead targeting the boy behind her. And yet, she wasn't even able to do that. In that case, she had thrown those black keys with all her might, but they still had been blocked. Despite secretly hoping they'd find their mark, she knew that there was no chance they would. It was her next attack that was supposed to deal the finishing blow, but the fight was suddenly over before it had even begun. In that moment, her mind was flooded with despair, so intense it bordered on self-flagellation. When? How? I didn't even see her move. We're not talking about a difference in ability here. Sure, ever since I met her 6 years ago, I've known that I'm no match for her. But still, I believe that after giving it my very best, I'd have at least narrowed that gap a little. But The gap is even bigger now than it was 6 years ago. Compared with her, I'm nothing but a worm. Stand down, Sister Noelle. That's what she said. Sister. The gall of that bitch. She had been rejecting Noelle, both as an executor and as her disciple. That's fine. She's painfully aware that she's lost her way. Even if Tonoshiki had never entered the picture, this day would have come sooner or later. Still. She lets out a strangled cry of resentment. She can't believe Ciel's audacity. She'll never forgive that unsightly display. Now is when she exposes her weakness and vulnerable side, and displays such humanity. After all this, she'll never ever forgive such treachery. Noelle had always been able to bear it up until now. She was jealous of Ciel's genius, but she had managed to make it through those 6 long years by clinging to the belief that Ciel was nothing more than a slave, someone even lower than herself. So then what the hell was that? She's a hero. She isn't even human anymore. Once she had been convinced of that idea, she had been able to put aside her desire for revenge. But what if it had all been a lie? If that inhuman behavior of hers had been an act, if she'd longed for happiness inside her heart, if she had experienced that all-too-human suffering, then that would be the ultimate act of betrayal. Has she cast it all away? Her atonement for everything she did to Noelle, her atonement for everything she had ruined. If she could laugh from the bottom of her heart, how could she ever deserve to be forgiven? That snake was only ever forgiven on account of her superhuman capabilities. And because she wasn't human, Noelle could overlook the sins she had committed. But if she is human after all, then she absolutely cannot be forgiven. Punishment upon sin, retribution upon evil, even greater cruelty upon cruelty. Ciel must now be punished for her deeds.
なのに何もできない。強いからって幸せになるの？私は弱いからこのまま死ねっていうの？悔しい。私があいつよりもっと強かったら。
She is coping hard right now. If she were, she'd be able to meet our retribution. She laments that she cannot be the one to take that Iron Maiden, that wind-up doll that does nothing but fight, and put her in her place. She continues to vigorously claw at the ground, heedless of the fact that her nails have been ripped out, and the tips of her fingers have already been ground away.
神様。
She begs for salvation. Salvation for herself, and for a fitting end to befall her. The former executor dedicates herself wholeheartedly to her litany of curses. Of course, prayers are supposed to be dedications to the Lord. She has already completely forgotten that one does not pray for earthly matters, and certainly not for one's own salvation.
でもそれが大変いいのです。私、その祈りだけで十分おかずにできちゃいそう。
Who's that? Sensing another person has suddenly appeared, she looks over her shoulder. But by this point, her fate is already set in stone. A rock?
こんばんは。こんなところに隠れ家を作ってるなんていけない子ね。
I thought back on the voice and I was like, wait, there's no way, right? Huh? I had never would have expected a rock and Noelle to have an interaction at all. But okay, here we are.
ま、そのあたりはどうでもいいけど。なに？ ノエルちゃんは強くなれればそれでいいの？
Noelle is having trouble keeping up with what's happening. It's true that she had set up camp here to avoid the acting protesters' prying eyes. Not even Ciel found out about this place, so how on earth did this woman know?
来ないで。誰よ、あなた。
Who are you really, Arak?
私は通りすがりの善人よ。ノエルちゃんにちなんでスクルージとか名乗ってもいいんだけど、私キャロルはなんか嫌いなのだわ。だってあれ、強者が弱者になっちゃう話じゃない？愛が足りないんだってば、愛が。その点私はラブ大サービス。弱者を強者にするのがライフワークなの。どう？今なら底辺で出会った記念にあなたを強くしてあげるけど。
Is this going where I think it's going? No way, right? Everything she said is so absurd that Noelle finds herself smiling. This nonsensical stranger is so patently comical that she completely lets her guard down.
ふざけないでよ。何も知らないくせに何気軽に歌ってるのよ。強くなれるのならとっくになって。私みたいな凡人じゃあの天才には何をやったってかなわない。
Anger and frustration well up from the bottom of her heart. She vents the feelings that have been building inside her for the last 6, no, in reality, the last 13 years.
何をやったって？今そう言ったのかしら、お嬢さん。
I haven't seen you make that face before. It's like a switch has been flipped inside her. The woman in the lab coat advances on the girl groveling on the floor, her heels clicking with each step she takes.
あなたはまだ何もしていない。ただ生きてきただけ。強くなる努力も工夫も対価も愛も何一つ支払っていない。
Her fingers graze the girl's lips. The pale fingers lift Noelle's mud-stained face.
でもまだ間に合うわ。ねえ、かわいいお嬢さん。
Who are you really? Are you really just a regular old doctor at the mansion, or are you secretly working with the church in some way, or some other faction?
強くなれるのなら本当に何をしてもいいのかしら？
Her reply is barely a whisper, but it contains an undeniable resolve. Though she dreads what the woman's temptation might entail, she agrees. She agrees and seals her fate.
でもどうやって？そんなの簡単よ。私があなたを本物の吸血鬼にしてあげる。
Oh my god, is this how dead Apostle Noel comes to life? There's no way, right?
待って、何言ってるの？吸血鬼にするって。それより本物って。そう。ほ、ん、も、の。ノエルちゃんたら血を吸われたから使徒化してると思ってるけど、それただの勘違いだから。あなたには使徒になる才能すらない。本当の凡人であることをまだ受け入れてなかったのね。でも安心して。私の方法ならどんな人間も、それこそ虫けらだって吸血鬼にしてあげられるわ。待って私、汚染されてないの。だって喉が渇いて、こんなに苦しいのに。ああ、それ、ただの思い込み。あとちょっと風邪気味なだけなんじゃない？
Noelle scrabbles at the ground, trying to escape, but something slowly weighs her down from behind. Before long, her entire body has been bound hand and foot by a white thread. The creature that crawled onto her back runs its glistening tongue across Noelle's lips. It's like a repulsive spider, reveling in the torment of its captured prey.
さあ行ってみましょうか。かわいい虫けらさん。
So you're behind the spider?
いやー、臨床実験は私も初めてだからドキドキして思わず食べちゃいそう。やめ、お願い、やめて。やだ、吸血鬼になるのだけは死んでも嫌。
Too late. Her excruciating rebirth is over in a matter of minutes. While the girl's body has undergone a total metamorphosis, her mind remains untouched. Her human senses, intellect, and morals are still in the process of being upgraded to their new vampiric form. Yeah, the voice changed. Really? Okay, so that really makes me think, like, maybe a rock could make it in Multi-Blood type woman. I don't know, maybe. If they actually, intend to add more characters to it, that is. But, I digress. The sounds coming out of her mouth are a confused mixture of pain and joy. Once upon a time, the girl swore that a vampire was the one thing she would never become. Even now, she clings to that oath. After all, taking revenge on vampires had been her raison d'etre. But that too will probably vanish in just a few more minutes. The obsession she had clung to as a human amounted to nothing. Now, a far greater ecstasy courses through her body.
ほら、なってしまえば楽でしょ。そういう姿になったのは予想外だけど、そっか。ノエルちゃんはその頃が一番ノリノリだったってこと？
そうよ。文句ある？これが私。この姿が私。こうなりたかったのが私。すごく上出来。気に入ったわ、この姿。ありがとうって言ってあげる。
お礼は結構慈善事業だもの。でもそれだけじゃあの大公社には勝てないわよ。むしろカモになった感じ？
そんなの言われなくても分かっているわ。今の私なら黒剣一本で始末される。
What, are you gonna train her or something?
もちろん追加の注射をしなくちゃね。
それはさっきの注射と違うの？
Is that the one that she wanted Shiki to use getting that one vaccination in the school? I think so, or at least it looks similar.
同じものよ。これ一本一本がイデアのレプリカ。一本ごとに使徒の改定を上げる。私特製の麻薬ってわけ。ただし一本ごとに死の痛みが魂に降りかかっちゃう。痛覚のない人にとって原理の書き換えは死の痛みだもの。命の保証はできないってのが泣きどころかしらね。
There are still 6 syringes left on her hand. The girl understands better than anyone else that her current self corresponds to rank 2. Dead apostles that can reach rank 4 become able to crush most executors. Even if they keep going and make it to rank 5, their curse is so strong that they can win even against multiple executors acting in concert. In which case, 2 or 3 more shots would be enough to set her free, both in body and spirit. If she took all of them, she could become a rank 8, one step away from the ancestors, the pinnacles of the dead apostles, who not even the true ancestors can lay a finger on. But with each injection, she would die once. Now that she's a dead apostle, it's clear to the girl that her soul cannot withstand that kind of dosage.
一本で
ええ、それは保証してあげる。さあ、あなたは何本まで試すのかしら？
You're not gonna take all of them, are you? Her sticky smile taunts the newborn dead apostle. After a moment's hesitation, the girl snatches all of the syringes from her hand. With her face distorted by fear, she takes the first needle and jams it into her own heart. Look at that grin, Jesus Christ. The pseudo-principal idea mosaic floods her veins. The excruciating agony is comparable to her earlier transformation. She feels the intense discomfort of being rejected by all of creation. The two forces collide inside her body. The syringes are now nothing more than instruments of torture. A hellish trial in which she undergoes transformation after transformation, never satisfied with the result. Second by second, she plunges from abhorrent death to sickening rebirth and back again. Her crimson body convulses in endless pain, unable to so much as scream for help. If she were to look up, she would see no moon, no stars. She is trapped within this hell on earth, fenced in by 8 legs. Her screams continue to echo in the dark, never reaching anyone's ears, until her heart finally becomes that of a real vampire. Holy shit. I never would have thought that Iraq was the reason Dead Apostle Noel exists. Holy hell, dude, that is crazy. Well, goddamn, Iraq, looks like you've officially become an op because you simply just created probably one of the biggest problems to ever come in this story. Probably, I don't know. Just from my knowledge of Melty Blood, she doesn't seem like someone to sneeze at. So, you know, the demon child has been released. So, I guess we gotta prepare for the worst.